Welcome to Module 3, Making and Taking Flower Essences. Flower essences are made using flowers of the same type, pure water, and a source of heat. The heat causes the essence, the energy of the flower, to be transferred into the water. The flowers are then removed, with the water now infused with their essence. The essence is mixed with a preservative and then diluted and bottled. The classic preservative used by Dr. Bach is brandy. When brandy or another alcohol is used to preserve the essences, they last for 5 to 7 years or maybe more. Essences can also be preserved with vinegar or glycerin, in which case they probably last about 2 years if you keep them in a cool, dark place. The way Dr. Bach made flower essences and essence dilutions, and the way I was taught to make them 20 years ago, is a little different. I imagine that other people may make essences in a different way as well. I will tell you the way Dr. Bach made essences and gave instructions for taking them, because that's considered the classical way, as he was the first person to come up with this system. And then, once you've learned the basic guidelines, you can experiment and figure out what works for you. So here's the system for making and taking flower essences, as created by Dr. Bach. So for delicate flowers, meaning they have soft stems, the essence making process begins by soaking them in spring water for 3 to 4 hours. For plants with woody stems, like those from trees, the flowers are simmered on the stove for half an hour. The heat, either from the sun or the stove, transfers the energy of the flower into the water. Once that process is complete, the essences are bottled. A clean glass bottle is filled halfway with a preservative. Dr. Bach essences classically use brandy. The flower essence water is then strained into that bottle, and the flowers can go back to nature as compost. The bottle with the essence and preservative is then shaken or swirled to mix the two. This bottle is called the mother tincture and should last for years and years. Next in the process is diluting the mother tincture. Remember that flower essence therapy grew out of Dr. Bach's experience with homeopathic medicine? In homeopathy, diluted remedies treat the energy body as opposed to the physical body, and they're more powerful since the energy body falls out of balance before the physical body does. So we dilute the essence in order for it to heal us on a deeper level. A few drops are taken from the mother tincture and put into another clean bottle filled with half preservative and half spring water. This is called the stock bottle. Dr. Bach's process calls for 2 drops of the mother tincture to be put into the stock bottle. Once the drops are diluted in the stock bottle, the process calls for something called succussing. This also comes from homeopathic medicine preparation. You hold the bottle in one hand and gently but firmly whack it, or, as I like to say, thwack it against your other palm or against a book. Homeopathy has a very specific number of times that you do this, but flower essences, in my view, are much more forgiving. I do it 20 times when I'm making my own essences. So the Bach essences we buy in stores or online are all stock bottles. The essence making process usually calls for diluting the stock bottle one more time into what's called a dosage bottle. But do you need to do that? Good question. Here are some options. You can take drops right from the stock bottle. I do this when I have some sort of perceived emergency and want to shift my energy immediately. I also take drops right from this bottle when I am popping them onto my kids' or dogs' heads. You can dilute drops from the stock bottle in liquid before drinking them or placing them on the body. If I'm not in an emergency type of situation, I almost always dilute the drops from the store-bought stock bottles in a glass or bottle of water or tea. I then sip on that all morning or all day and get a steady stream of good flower energy transforming whatever I want to transform. Remember, diluting the essences makes them more powerful because they have a deeper effect on your energy field. Does that matter for you and your needs? You get to experiment and decide for yourself. If you want to dilute the stock bottle into a dosage bottle, here's how you do it. You can fill the dosage bottle with 30% preservative and 70% water, and then take 2 to 7 drops from the stock bottle, add them to the dosage bottle, and then succuss the bottle to mix everything and to activate it. When I make my own essences, this dosage bottle is the bottle I take drops from. I hope this isn't too confusing. I encourage you to experiment with using the stock bottle and using a dosage bottle if you like, and to do what feels good to your body. So whether you're taking drops from the stock bottle or the dosage bottle, the classic way to take flower essences is to shake the bottle a little to activate the essence, and then put 2 drops in your mouth, in water or another liquid, or on a part of your body that needs healing or balancing. You can take this 2-drop dose just once, or as often as you like. But the general guideline is 2 to 6 times a day. You can't overdose. Practically, I found that taking a dose 3 or 4 times a day for a week or 2, or even more, depending on how long-standing the pattern is that I want to change, is doable. You can also make a formula with 6 essences or less, putting 2 drops of each essence in a dropper bottle, and then filling it up with water or water and a little bit of preservative. If you make a formula to heal a specific concern, you can take 3 or 4 drops 3 or 4 times a day for as long as you like. What I've noticed is that after a couple of weeks of taking a formula, my body seems to have made the desired internal shifts and doesn't need that specific formula anymore. It's kind of fascinating. I find myself forgetting to take the drops or looking at the bottle and thinking, And what that means is that I'm done with that formula and that it's time to reassess what I need. Don't touch the dropper to your tongue if you can help it. That can contaminate the flower essence. If I happen to do that, I rinse it in water and just trust that it won't adversely affect the energy of the essence. But best not to do it. So, if you avoid alcohol, there are a few tricks you can use to still get the benefit of the essences. Number 1, you can put them on your body. There's a cool book called Floral Acupuncture that tells you how to put specific essences on specific acupuncture points in order to create healing. When I wake up in the middle of the night, I drop white chestnut flower essence on my forehead and the top of my head in order to quiet my mind. I've mentioned before, when my kids were young, I would sneakily drop 1 or 2 drops on their head when I wanted to soothe them or calm them down. Don't tell them. The inside of the wrist and behind the ears are other common places to put the essences. 2, you can put a bit of boiling water on a couple of drops of the essence in a cup in order to evaporate the alcohol. Number 3, you can hold the essence bottle in order to receive its energy. As you continue on this journey of awakening your energetic awareness, this technique may absolutely become available to you. Number 4, you can make your own essences and preserve them with apple cider vinegar or vegetable glycerin. There are some flower essence companies that preserve with things other than alcohol. Flower essences are perhaps the gentlest medicine I have ever come across, and yet they can be so deeply transformative. They're completely safe for babies, children, pregnant women, elders, and pets. There are absolutely no contraindications except the alcohol thing if you need to avoid alcohol. If you're curious about or interested in making your own essences, please check out the video and PDF which take you through that process. Doing so really helps you connect more deeply with the flowers. Thanks for listening. Go forth, experiment, and have fun.